Man, Late Night with the Devil was absolutely fantastic. Between the 70s concept, all the acting, it was just phenomenal. The direction that the film went and the style that it took, I mean, it was awesome. It was absolutely fantastic. But so the film follows this night talk show called Night Owls with Jack Delroy. And Jack Delroy is played by David Dimashlin, and he is just phenomenal. Like, I don't care who your favorite talk show host is, it'll be Jack Delroy after seeing this movie. I mean, he was so good in this role that I hope that when they release the DVD, I hope they filmed other episodes, like, just for fun, like other specials or something, just to be able to watch another full episode of Night Owls and not have like everything pretty much, not have it like all burned to the ground. The story follows Jack Delroy and his rise to fame, right? His rise to being a talk show host, and he's trying to get that number one spot of being like the king of late night, but he can't quite do it, right? He's like beat by whoever the other, of course, great talk show hosts were of that time, Carson and everybody, and he's just trying, and they're succeeding. I mean, the show is a hit, with everybody, with viewers. But then all of a sudden, tragedy hits where his wife dies. She ends up dying of cancer, even though she doesn't smoke apparently. So he ends up kind of stepping away from the show. He ends up having to grieve, and he goes on this like retreat. And then when he comes back, this is what the film centers around. Is his big comeback episode, right? And it was going to be a Halloween special, and he was going to have all these guests on and things that people had never seen before, right? And including, a live demonic possession pretty much. And it's crazy because considering that, I guess it hadn't been done before. When I first saw the trailer, I thought this was real. Like, I thought this had been done before. Like, the way the trailer is portrayed of being based off of a 1977 television broadcast, I assumed it was real. I just got finished watching Society of the Snow. I did my review for that. So I'm like, in my mind, fresh thinking that like maybe this was like something that had happened once before. Maybe it wasn't. They're just exaggerating it, making a film out of it. I thought it was literally based off of something that actually happened. So I'm thankful that it's not, because if it was, they're pretty crazy, because a lot of people might potentially have been possessed or would be possessed, But so he ends up getting on these 3 acts. A psychic, right? He was going to like talk to the dead and talk to dead relatives and stuff in the audience. And then he brings on this skeptic who was a retired hypnotist. And he pretty much lives his life now debunking the supernatural, saying that everything is just tricks and lighting and attitude, and nothing's actually supernatural or real like that, whatever. And then the last guest is this parapsychologist who is studying and treating this young girl who is supposedly possessed by a demon. And it's wild because they show this in the beginning of the narration. They discuss this cult that was going on around the same time that was like headlining news, because this cult was trying to like, there were Satan worshipers and everything, and they were going to they were going to bring forth this demon or whatever to cleanse the world, and they end up all committing suicide, and I guess knowing, willingly sacrificing themselves to summon this demon. But the demon ends up being sent into this young girl, into her body. And so the parapsychologist, of course, she believes that this is a real spirit, but she also believes that this girl is really sick. And it's funny because her name is Lily, and it's like, all right, Lilith. I mean, maybe something bad's gonna happen, But so Jack wants to exploit that their act specifically, because it's not actually an act, but he wants to exploit her demonic possession on live TV, because who's ever seen a live demonic possession on TV before? And he's trying to get his #1 rating. And of course, when everyone does their spiel, the psychic ends up feeling like there's this entity in the studio that's like unbearable to him, and it's like killing him in a sense, right? So he ends up having to leave. And the skeptic, he's like, oh, he did a questionnaire when you came in, and obviously he knew about people, and like it's all like he's just debunking it, right? And then he tells the parapsychologist, like, your field doesn't even exist. You're like working a fake job being a parapsychologist, So of course she wants to prove him wrong. So does Jack. So they end up summoning the demon on live TV, and the demon ends up taking out the show. Like, he literally ends up taking out the show. And it's funny because even the parapsychologist herself is like against it, But it's like, what did you think they were going to do? Like, obviously you're going to discuss it, and just because she's writing a book, Conversations with the Devil, but it's like, obviously you're going to discuss it and stuff. Why would you think they wouldn't want you to do it? You know, like, I mean, just saying. But so the demon is summoned, right? And it pretty much destroys the studio. And because it's on live TV, it ends up going through the radio waves and the airwaves in a sense. And whoever's watching the show pretty much gets possessed as well, or they get affected somehow by the demon, and it's just awful. It's genius for the demon itself, but like it's just wild, you know. But you end up finding out that Jack actually was part of that cult. Like when he went on that retreat after his wife passed, he was actually in that cult, and he believed in all this stuff. So he knew that she could summon the demon, and he knew that it would get people's attention. So, and he knew that it would get him ratings, and it would put him on #1, and it did all of that. But at the end, it wasn't exactly what he wanted, because it turns out he sacrificed his livelihood for fame and success, and unfortunately, he sacrificed his wife for success. And you know, but he didn't know that it would kill her. And like, I don't know what you would think, but he didn't think it would kill her, and it killed her. So but like I said, it was a phenomenal movie. I mean, gosh, it was just so good from start to finish. And like, you know, whenever it is filmed like a TV show. So when it cuts to commercial break, it's all behind the scenes of the show, and it's in black and white, and it's just so cool. Like, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, because everyone's, the turmoil and the way that the cast and the crew are like acting, not the cast of the movie per se, but like, you know, Jack Delroy and the guests are acting with the staff, like, and the showrunners and the directors of everything. They're all wanting this to be great, but some of them are very skeptical and worried, and others are straight up like, hey, I don't think we should be summoning a demon on like live television, you know. And it's just, the tension gets worse and worse as the episode progresses after each commercial break. And then I gotta say, speaking of the commercial breaks, a lot of people are up in arms right now because of the AI use in the movie, because when they cut to commercial break, it's an AI generated still that's like the logo of the Night Owls show and everything. And like, but it's so minuscule. It's nothing really to get hung up over. It's nothing to really like put the movie down for. I would say personally. I mean, I don't like AI either, so I agree. But could someone have drawn it and made it themselves? Totally. But the fact that it was used, whatever. I would rather it be a last resort, because it's obviously going to be here to stay, you know, AI. But if you don't like it, just continue to say that. Just support, you know, human creativity and human creations and human art and things that we can create with our hands, not with a machine or a computer. And, you know, in time, hopefully these directors will use them if they have to or want to, as excerpts, or like, you know, not people excerpts, of course, because that's going too far, but as stills or photos or whatever, you know, just an AI generated one. I mean, it's just going to be easy for, you know, low budget incoming indie films, at least, which is what this is, no doubt. It's not a big budget production, but AI can be used in anything. But if you ain't got that much money, AI could definitely be the way to go, unfortunately. But it's nothing to hang this movie up over. I mean, it got 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, right? It's hella fresh of a film. You know, the directors did a fantastic job, and I'll give it that 1% just to push it over the edge, because it is worth you watching. And I think it was a phenomenal directorial debut from these brothers, Cameron and Colin, I believe Cadanis or something. But congratulations, you guys. Thank you for a fantastic film. And David Demachlin, like I said, he totally knocked it out of the park. You should definitely go check it out. Late Night with the Devil. It's fantastic. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. There's a lot of other horror movies coming out these next couple months, so I'm pretty excited. I mean, definitely going to go watch Immaculate later on this week to get my daily dose or weekly dose, I guess, of Sydney Sweeney. I mean, and I guess daily dose at this point, right? Of Sydney Sweeney. And then, yeah, we'll just see what everyone comes out next. I'm there. But yeah, this has been Ghost in the Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe again. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic rest of your day.